Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to today's video, where I apologize in advance for being a little more yappy than usual. It's just, okay, I'm gonna be so honest with you. If you watch my channel, you know that I recently started a new, full-time everyday job. I go in and everything, but, I've been there for 8 weeks, but I'm still new, and, none of my colleagues really know anything about me. I don't really know how to interact with them. I made a Princess Bride reference today, and nobody got it, and I just don't know how to be around that. I just feel like, I don't know, they're very nice, but I don't fit in with them, really. So I sit for 8 hours, and I stare at my computer all day. That's really hard for me, because I'm a natural-born yapper. So I come home, and I just yap. Sometimes to myself, sometimes to Lena, sometimes to Roger, sometimes to the plants. So today you're the receiving end of the yapping, okay? I hope you don't mind. This is gonna be a favorites video, but also me yapping, because there's a couple of things that I just want to yap about. If you take a shot every time I said yap in this first part of the video, you will be dead, so please don't do that. The first thing I really wanted to talk about was actually a more serious topic, but it's just at the forefront of my mind, because I fell down this rabbit hole. I have a history. Oh wait, look. I put my Impress nails on that I've been hoarding for literally years, because they're sort of summer Halloween-y, and this week was 100 days until Halloween, so now we're less than 100, and my Spirit Halloween opens literally next week. I'm doing a vlog Halloween hunting right now, don't worry, but I just thought these sort of summery Halloween nails would be perfect for right now. Back to what I was talking about. I fell down the rabbit hole the other day because I have a history of ignoring the right-wing red flags until they're shoved in my face, okay? So, I actually, when I was go from the radio station a couple years ago, I had a job interview at a place, and I didn't really do any research into the place. The job posting just said news anchor, and so I did an interview, and I definitely ignored the red flags, that they were very right-wing, and then I was talking to a friend of mine after, and I was kind of giving her the lines back that they told me, and then as I was telling her, I was kind of oh, and the truth be told, I really think they would have given me the job. They really liked me. I had all the, not credentials, but all the experience that they wanted. But as soon as I figured out that they were a very right-wing news place, I emailed them, and I said, I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me, but I'm changed my mind, and I'm no longer interested in this position. And they were they emailed me back, and they're that's really unfortunate. We would have loved to have you, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that anecdote is to tell you that I'm really bad at seeing the signs, okay? So if you ever are, going through my followers trying to find tea, and you see that I follow someone who's right-wing, there is a good chance that I just don't know, because I unintentionally am optimistic and try to see the best in people, but it has been brought to my attention that one of my OG favorite beauty YouTubers, RawBeautiKristi, might not just be right-wing, but, might be a little bit intense about it. You can have certain political beliefs, and it's okay, but it appears that she's, not even just anti-vax, which is a whole problem. That's, one of the things that I just can't get past. But, she doesn't want her child away from her to go to school. So her sister, has her own, homeschool co-op, which I don't really like homeschooling to begin with, for a number of reasons. It can be done well, of course, don't get me wrong, but there are also cases, especially in recent years, where it's not done, to where it's supposed to be. Her sister started a homeschool thing, and she's now moving to Kristi's massive property and starting the homeschool thing there, and it's all, doesn't that feel kind of culty? To have this, commune homeschool thing on Kristi's massive property, and it's gonna be, fundamentalist Christian stuff. It was, now that I watched a couple of YouTube videos about it, there's a couple of good, YouTube videos from the sort of more commentary channels on, if you want to go look at it more. Now that they've pointed it all out to me, because she's very careful to not use the words, to delete all the comments asking things about it, it's, now that it's been pointed out to me, I definitely see it, but I didn't see it because she's been very careful, and I think probably because she knows it would hurt her views and her sponsors, sponsorships, if this was a thing, which that does bother me. If you're gonna have a point of view, or a view, views in general, at least stick to it. At least have some guts. At least be yeah, I'm a weirdo and this is what I think. At least go for it. But I don't know. she's smart enough to know that her audience wouldn't like it, especially because this was the other thing. This was the main point, and I can't believe I forgot about it until now. Apparently, the group that she's, like, aligned with is very anti-LGBT, which is heartbreaking and so upsetting for particularly a beauty creator who, you know, I'm sure a vast majority of her audience is LGBT, to be anti, like, it. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm so fortunate that when I look at my channel analytics, most of you are around my age, so I feel like we get each other, like, we're the same vibe. I usually don't have to worry about saying something and you taking it the wrong way, but I hope you are taking this the right way, that I just find it so disappointing that someone, in the creative, like, beauty space would be anti-LGBT, like, that's fucked up. But just that, in general, she would kind of fall down this rabbit hole. And the freaking part that drives me nuts is I watch so many of these, like, cute, sort of, like, cottagecore, homesteady creators, and they always end up being right-wing. I know it's like a crunchy granola thing where they're like, we shouldn't be putting anything into our bodies that isn't natural. And I'm like, okay, I get that to an extent, but then they always take it so far. And I'm just like, why? Why can't we have fruits and vegetables and vaccines? I just don't get it. It makes me so mad. And I've just been thinking about this so much because, like, I'm stupid and I didn't see the signs even though they were right in front of me. But, like, who else? Who else do I know, maybe even in real life, that I just am not seeing the right-wing signs? Like, I'm 30, but I'm naive. I just don't know what's going on around me half the time, y'all. Ooh, another update. An update for you. Changing topics. If you have followed my kitty cat journey over the years, my cat Lena is the love of my life. She will live here forever. Don't worry, I'm not getting rid of her. But she does have a little bit of an attitude problem. And I'm planning on doing a whole video about this eventually, but a year and a half-ish ago, maybe, I actually did a consultation with Jackson Galaxy about Lena because she was so much. She would, like, just slice me up. And for no reason, I'd be sitting in bed doing whatever, and she would come in and just cut me up. So she's actually starting Kitty Cat Prozac tomorrow. So I'm going to kind of document it. It's hard because her attacks were never consistent. They would be out of the blue, and that's what kind of sucked about it. But we're going to see how this goes and how it works. Hopefully, the problem with Lena, I believe, and Jackson Galaxy believed, is that her body overstimulates itself. Like, you can see the back twitching and the tail twitching for no reason. And something he pointed out to me, I'll never forget because I feel stupid that I never caught it. She will be playing, and then she runs away. And most cats don't do that. They play and they just keep playing. And Jackson was like, I think that might be just like she gets so overstimulated that she doesn't know what to do. So she runs away to go cool down. So I'm really hoping that this medication will help her start to calm down. And then maybe I will be cut up a little less. And I don't have to feel self-conscious about hiding my arms on YouTube for demonetization reasons. Like, it's gotten to the point where in real life, if my arms are sliced up, I just leave them out. People can see them. They're going to ask me. I'm going to say it's from my cat. There's a chance they're not going to believe me. Whatever. New topic. Do you like my hair? I have been wearing it various versions of half up a lot lately because I don't like the cut, but we're trying to grow it out, right? So we're trying to do this. So today is little space buns, and I actually had been toying with the idea of like, maybe it's not bangs anymore. Like maybe I just push them to the side or I grow them out or whatever. And then someone commented on a video and was like, oh my god, the blonde bangs on you are everything, or something like that. And now I'm just like, maybe they are cute. Do we like them? Do we like my bangs? Maybe we do. I wanted to show you a plant as well, because so my job is near a plant store, so every time I pass the plant store, I like take a little looky-loo, and I saw this. What the hell is this? So I went in, and I said just that, what the hell is this? And I turned it around, and the sticker on the side said, Frizzle Sizzle. And I was like, I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that before in my life. And it was only $6, so I bought it. Usually I like to learn about a plant before I buy it, but for $6, I was like, whatever. It is cool. That's the first thing I've learned. Second thing I've learned is that it's actually supposed to be dormant in the summer, and then it's supposed to be active in the winter. So, at first I was a little bit butthurt that some of these are coming out droopy, but it's not really supposed to be doing anything right now, so whatever. And then I'm going to cut these little, like, frizzly bits off Frizzle. But anyway, yeah, this is a Frizzle Sizzle. It is weird. It's giving Dr. Seuss. It's giving Alice in Wonderland. I will let you know how it progresses. As of right now, this is what it looks like. The next time I do a plant video, I can't wait to show you some of the other planty things that I've done. I've gotten rid of a couple of plants simply because they did not bring me joy anymore. Actually, both of them frustrated me because they were like falling over and they were ugly. So I got rid of them. But like I put the monstera, I don't know if you can see it a little bit, but in like a big pot with a big moss bowl. The Thai Constellation is also in a big pot with a big moss pool. There's been a lot of up-potting this season because lots of plants were busting out, okay? Another thing that I love, yes, I have accidentally spent a ton of money the last couple of weeks because Lena's gone to the vet twice. I had to pay off a bunch of birthday presents and Christmas presents I bought. I ordered the Taylor Swift folklore cardigan today. It restocked, and I was like, do I buy it? Do I not buy it? Yeah. I have always wanted to be a reading girly, but I just can't do it. Like, I didn't know for the longest time what it was. Something about reading, I don't want to say it felt like a waste of time, but I'm so brainwashed by hustle culture that it always felt like I could be doing something that was a better use of my time than reading. And then I would go to read, I would set aside time to read, and I just couldn't do it. So I told you, I think, that I want to start audiobooks. And I tried that, and maybe I just haven't found the right one, but I just can't do it. I don't know what it is. Something about audiobooks creeps me out. Like, the guy just talking to me, I don't know. It's like, I don't like having an additional voice in my head. You know, like, there's already so many that putting on the audiobook, I don't know. I didn't like it. So here I am trying to find another alternate. And my friend Alyssa lends me her Kobo, which is an e-reader. It's in the States, you guys have Barnes & Noble. In Canada, we have Indigo, or Chapters, as I call it, because that's our closest version. She let me borrow her Kobo, and I loved it. I think I've come to the realization that my issue with books was always that I'm just so physically lazy and weak that I hate holding up a book. That's the stupidest thing ever, but it is the truth. The act of holding up a book and trying to figure out how to get comfy and figure out how to, like, turn it so that I could, like, hold the spine open and, I feel so stupid telling you this right now, but I love physical books. I love the smell. I love the feel. I love the look. I don't like the act of reading them. I just can't do it. So after using her Kobo for a bit, I did go out and buy one. So mine is the Kobo Clara color. This is it. I did buy the color one because it was only like $20 more than the black and white one, so why wouldn't I? So the book that I'm reading right now is actually Where the Crawdads Sing. I'm about a third of the way through it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. And then I'm going to finish the Ex Hex after. I really actually enjoy the Ex Hex. I don't know why it's taken me a year to finish this book. I think it's because, again, I didn't like picking up the book and, like, reading it and, like, trying to unfold the book in such, like, unfolding the book in such a way that I could read it, but also that it was I know this is the stupidest I've ever sounded, but it's the truth. So I did also download that book onto my Kobo. I'm going to finish reading it after I'm done Where the Crawdads Sing. I would have read that one first, but I'm just really enjoying Where the Crawdads Sing, and that's the book I was reading on Alyssa's Kobo. And then I'm going to take my Kobo to the library and get their app and use that. The thing is, one of the things that stopped me from e-readers before is that I really love having the trophy after I'm done reading a book. I love having the physical book and being like, I read this. But it occurred to me that I can still buy the book after I'm done reading it on the Kobo. Like, nothing is stopping me from purchasing books. And this way, if I read a book on the Kobo and I don't like it enough to buy it, I don't have the book here taking up space. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it, and I really highly recommend it. If you're somebody who also doesn't vibe with audiobooks, maybe I just haven't found the right one. A lot of the ones that I tried were narrated by men. Maybe that's just not for me. But, I don't know. If you're also someone else who wants to get into reading and you're just struggling and you don't know why, maybe do what I did and try an e-reader. Like, that was the answer for me. And it's what I love about the Kobo is, like, look how small it is. Look how light it is. It fits in my purse. It fits on my foot tray. It fits anywhere. And, like, the problem I had before when I tried to read on my iPad is that my iPad is so big. It's so heavy. It's just so cumbersome to hold. Especially when you consider that I'm 3 feet tall. Like, this is You know, it's still the whole size of my boob, half the size of my torso. Like, I don't know. The iPad just didn't work out, but the Kobo really does, and I really, really freaking recommend it. Really, really, really love it. Whatever I can do to tell you to try an e-reader if you're having struggles getting into reading, try it. I also don't think I've talked to you much about music. I think I told you at some point that I was really liking Deeper Well by Casey Musgraves, which is still true. I still love that album, but two very important to me albums have been released since then. The first one was Eternal Sunshine by Ariana Grande. I love that album. It's so poppy, it's so fun, and it's so good. Typical Ari, like poppy, fun, good, evolving with the times. So great. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people want to hate Ari these days because she's in a relationship with a guy who broke up his marriage and left his newborn baby to be with her. Is that great? No. Do I think that's not a really moral thing to do? Yes. But I just feel like you have to pick your battles. Like, Hollywood and the music industry as a whole is such a mess, and there's so many actual predators. Like, R. Kelly, P. Diddy, that guy that shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. I recently learned that people still listen to Chris Brown. That's the thing. Chris Brown is literally cannot tour in Canada, because this country won't let him in because he has a domestic violence charge. There are people who still listen to him. So, as much as, you know, like, it's not a great situation, I can't help but look at it like two adults consented to leaving their relationships to be together. I don't know, like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, is it great? No, but I just feel like Harvey Weinstein was allowed to flourish for so long in the movie industry and no one did anything. Who knows what the hell else is going on in the music industry these days? Dr. Luke is still making music with freaking Katy Perry's helping him. Like, I don't know. I just have a hard time looking at it and being like, yes, I'm going to crucify Ariana Grande and hate her forever because she liked a guy who liked her back. And if anything, her and Dalton, I didn't like them together from the beginning. I knew it was never going to last. If she came on to whatever his name is, SpongeBob, like, he could have said no. He really is the one that's more culpable, if you ask me. He should have said no. He should have gone home. He should have thought twice before he let it all go. You know, he shouldn't have broken up his relationship to be with Ari, but at the same time, you shouldn't be in a relationship that you don't want to be in, especially when there's a kid involved, because it's not good for the kid. I don't know, like, I really just don't think people just like to hang women. That's just point blank period. Like, they will find any way to crucify a pop girly if they can find one. So, if a man had done this, if he had been a music artist, nobody would have batted an eyelash. But because it's her, that's why people still comment on her Instagram yelling at her for this, you know? I'm so sorry if my camera angle or anything just changed randomly. The little piece that holds my camera at the right angle just decided to, like, give out. Great. So, I have it, like, kind of MacGyvered together. See, if I said that at work, they'd be like, who's MacGyver? I understand that I'm aging. But am I aging that fast? The other album I wanted to talk to you about, obviously, was the Tortured Poets Department. Here's the interesting thing about Tortured Poets Department. I did not love this album at first, because when you are given an album with 32 songs on it, and they're all long, and they're all written like poems, like, you know what I mean, all songs are written like poems in a way, but hers are very lyrical, and you listen to it end to end, like, it does kind of feel like word salad. You know what I mean? I didn't love it at first. And then the more I listened, and then she started doing it on the Eras tour, and I was watching clips on TikTok, like, a couple of songs definitely came out as more of my favorites. But the interesting thing is that the more time goes on, songs that I didn't pick out as ones that I particularly, like, loved, like, they just pop into my head at random times, and then I have to listen to them 6 million times until I'm satisfied. And then I, like, love them. So, for instance, last week, it was, I'm Gonna Get You Back. That wasn't one of my favorites, and then I literally, like, opened my eyes one morning, it was, like, Bella Swan at the beginning of Breaking Dawn Part 2. And then that song was in my head, and I had to listen to it for, like, 3 solid days, because it's just all I could hear in my head. And this week it's Fortnite, which is interesting, because that one was never one of my favorites, and I kind of always wondered why she made it the lead single, because it's just not that, like, catchy. It's good, but it was I don't know, like, it feels like a weird lead single to me. This week, that's been, like, the song that I just hear constantly in my head. I think that's a really interesting thing about this album, is that some of the songs, even if you don't love them at first, if you kind of let it marinate, you pick it up a little bit more, especially because the lyrics are so well written, and, like, she uses so many, like, literary elements to it that you can't just pick it up on the first listen to like a generic pop song. You kind of have to really listen to it and kind of really like ruminate on the themes and what she's saying. And I don't know, it's like the songs that I didn't like I said, they've become more and more meaningful to me, and I've just liked listening to them more and more as time has gone on. And what started as like near the bottom of my favorite Taylor Swift albums is now working its way up to the top. Is it at Speak Now and Reputation level? Not quite, but it's getting there, right? Like, Speak Now will always be my favorite. Rep probably below it. Tortured Poets Department is dancing around there with Red at this point, which is weird because I also love 1989. They're like dancing together, and then listen, Fearless is at the bottom. I know, but here's the thing, Fearless was an album written by a teenage girl who was happy and hopeful, and I loved it when I was a happy and hopeful teenage girl, but now that I'm 30 and I no longer have hope, I just can't relate to it anymore. Sorry. Like, I get it. I got it. I don't get it anymore. It's just not for me. If I was a different person, if I was more the golden retriever person, maybe I would still, like, absolutely turn it up to Fearless, but I just don't. I'm too much of the black cat. I referenced Dr. Luke earlier, and it just reminded me of Katy Perry's new song, and how terrible it is. The chorus itself could have been a catchy chorus to, like, a really good modern pop song, because it's got that sort of 80s fun to it, but it's the chorus that is terrible. When I first heard it on TikTok, and they were saying it sounds like a song that someone made up for their cat, I thought that was AI. Like, I thought it was bad AI, and someone was just, like, making up what they thought the new Katy Perry song was going to sound like. I can't believe that that's the real song. Sexy, confident. It's terrible. It sounds like the kind of thing that I would have written on my little keyboard when I was a child. Like, with only knowing 4 notes. I am flabbergasted that song, the verses particularly, came out, and there's no bridge, there's nothing, it's just the choruses and the verses. Pitiful. It is so funny to me. Like, was working with Dr. Luke really worth it, Katy Perry? Was it really? Ugh, we'll never get one of the boys Katy Perry ever again. I loved that album. The album was so important to little me. She couldn't do that album now. It is very early 2010s. There's too many sort of, like, her song, You're So Gay. It wouldn't fly now. But we loved it back then, right? We loved it, 10 plus years ago, 15 years ago at this point. We loved it. I still love it, I'll be honest with you. Ugh, I love that album. It's okay to tap out. If she puts out another song and it's actually good, or more songs and they're actually good, I will be so happy for her. But that first song, horrific. And she embarrassed herself by working with Dr. Luke. I think the world is, like, generally unethical, so if she had worked with Dr. Luke and it was a good song, it still could have done well. But because she worked with Dr. Luke and it was a bad song, she loses. If you don't know who Dr. Luke is, he's the one who was abusing Kesha, and Kesha took him to court, and it was a whole thing. If you remember when that all happened, and there's all the videos of Kesha, like, in court, and, it's heartbreaking to, like, see her, like, bawling her eyes out talking about how she just wanted to make music for people to have fun. Oh, it's so sad. Yeah, that's the producer that Katy Perry is now working with. He should have been blackballed from the industry, but no, of course he's still allowed to work in the industry, and everyone will claw their way to work with him. But Ariana Grande is the one who gets vilified because she is with a guy who was married and had a kid. I get why that's a problematic relationship, but also I just think people are taking it too far. That's all I'm going to say. I think that was everything I had planned on talking about. I didn't really plan on talking this long. I've already had to start my camera twice. And the battery is now dying, so we've been here a lot longer than I meant to be. LOL. Woo! Oops. I really haven't watched a lot of movies or TV lately because I simply don't have time. I come home from work and I stare into the void until it's time to go back to work. I've been reading my Kobo a lot, but I've only had my Kobo for like 3 days. I had Alyssa's before that. And like literally I haven't been watching anything, so what have you been watching? Tell me what to watch. There's so many shows out there and I never know which ones are good. So many movies and I don't know which ones are good. So many movies look terrible. And I don't want to watch those ones. I just end up watching the same movies over and over again because I don't know what to watch. I don't know. Like, what have you been watching lately? What have you been listening to? What have you been reading? Oh my god, give me your book recommendations. I love stories that... I don't love, like, romance-focused stories, but if there's, like, a little bit of, like, a love story in the background, I'm cool with that. Like, the way, like, Katniss and Peeta are, sort of, in the Hunger Games. Like, they're not the focus of the story, but it's happening in the background. The Ex Hex is a little bit like that. Her and the dude are working together to help undo the spell that she did. That's the whole point of the book. So, like, the romance thing is okay if it's not the focus. I get kind of bored if it's the focus because I'm cynical and old. I don't know. I do know that there's a Practical Magic book series. I learned this recently. The movie itself is actually based on a book. And they are doing a Practical Magic 2, which, as you know, frightens me. I am afraid of sequels to movies that came out a long time ago. I still remain cautiously optimistic about Beetlejuice 2. But I don't know. Cautiously optimistic, but I'm also nervous. And I'm even more nervous about Practical Magic 2. Especially because Alice Hoffman, that's her name, right? Who wrote the book, was involved in the first movie and she won't be involved in this one. I could read those books. I don't know. What do you think? Tell me what to read. Tell me what to watch. I'm not an adult and I can't figure this out by myself. Anyway, I apologize for the stream of consciousness video, but if you made it to the end, thank you so much. You're the greatest. Thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you have not already, please subscribe if you have not already. And I will see you next time. Bye!